Hey everybody, it's Thursday morning. I set this little test up Wednesday, testing this tensioner made with a toggle. It's made to tension a tarp line for hammock camping for setting up your tarp shelter. So yesterday we put this heavy automotive battery on here and measured the distance. 24 hours later, it's a 32nd inch of an inch closer to the ground. However, I'm attributing that 32nds of an inch to the stretch of the strap and the fact that we have a deep gouge right here, because this plastic is soft. It's a handle, and I believe this is where the stretch came from and not the line. And even so, if it is the line, a 32nds of an inch after about 24 hours is acceptable, especially with the way that we set this up. So before I take it down, I'm going to show everyone exactly what we got going here. So the little tensioning device is a plastic toggle, and it has a rope, a 1.5 millimeter Dyneema rope going through it. And for convenience, I've also added this little plastic loop, so it's easier to pull it out like that. And this goes on your line. And then you would take your line and go around something, such as the tree, and then you have a lock off here that this wraps around. And to lock this in position on the line, because as you can see it slides on the line, you simply take some of the rope out and you put a half twist in it, and then put one of the points of the toggle through the twist. And you actually don't have to sit here and twist your fingers. You can just pull it out and then take the toggle and do the action with the toggle, which is a lot easier and quicker. And then once it snugs down, it looks like this. And the important part is you have this little X shape right here, and you have a little X shape on the back. The X shape on the back comes from doing the twist. And now that you've done the twist, this thing is locked, and you can go around it. And where this little X is in the back, where the main line right here, where this little X is, it makes a nice positive clip. You can feel it click into place. And so all I did was do one wrap. That's all I did. This right here is all I did to hold the battery. There is one difference. I didn't put the lock on the top. I put the lock on the bottom, which is the same. It's just a different way of doing it. It makes it clip in. It makes you feel the little click when you first wrap it around there. Because as you can see, well, shit. Now what's going on? Oh, the little plastic ring got in the way. Okay. Anyways, when you put this around, you can feel it go between those two strands, and it makes a nice little positive clip action. So to hold this battery up, I just set this up like this, and then I went around it once, just one loop around, through the gate, the little clip part, and then just around like that. And that's all that I've done to hold this battery up overnight. And typically with one of these kind of hardware devices, you would usually finish it off with a couple extra wraps just for security. But the fact that this held the battery overnight with just one loop, that's pretty impressive. And it shows that with a continuous pull force for almost 24 hours, this thing works perfectly. And there's no damage to the toggle. You might think that the toggle, being plastic, having this little centerpiece here, the centerpiece could fail because this little centerpiece. However, once you put the lock in action, once you pull some of the strands through and then wrap it around the toggle like that, the only force that the toggle is under is the compression force of that loop trying to close up around the toggle. So there's no tensile pulling force on the toggle. There's just the compression force of these, which is exactly what we want, because the compression forces are going to create the lock. Anyways, that's all there is to it. And I'm going to go ahead and take this one down. So here's my one wrap around the back. It's probably going to be a little snug from hanging up here. And then there's my wrap around the gated part. And since this toggle's here, it'll give me a little leverage. Wow, that's pretty snug. Well, I guess there's a 50-pound battery hanging on it. Anyways, there it is. That little X right there is what captures this rope. So with the tarp on it, of course, it would be a lot easier to take down. And if it ever is actually hard to take down, you always have the leverage of this toggle. You can always grab the toggle and give it a little twist to help pop the cord out. Right, that's it. Stay tuned for some actual testing on a tarp instead of a battery. Thanks.